Good morning, folks. Remember the parallel video, the grinding video? That was a friend of mine, Paul Debolt, who runs Debolt Machine. Paul's helped me a lot learning and just the general stuff over the years, and we're going to come do a shop tour.
How you doing, John?
Good to see you. Thanks, Paul.
This is our office right here. We got a display cabinet here where we put some of the parts we make, and there's one of the model engines that we build here.
So if anyone's ever heard of cabin fever or the, what do you call it, the model engine, or?
It's models in general.
Models in general?
You know, and a lot of people build these flywheel engines like this, a turn of the century type engines. Some people build locomotives, some people build guns. All of them are miniaturized and made.
And functional.
And functional. Everything functions. There's people that brought jet engines there and just about any kind of modeling you can think of. But the whole point is to have it function at a miniature scale, just like the real deal.
So you make these and sell them as finished parts?
We sell them finished like this.
Yep.
We sell them completely machined, which means they're mechanics kit. There's no painting work done. There's no woodwork done. The mechanics kit. And you do the assembly and the paintwork if you buy it that way and do your own woodwork.
Yep.
Get it running that. Or we sell them in casting kit form, which means it's completely unmachined.
Yep.
You get a set of drawings and you can buy some optional parts that we make. Like, say you didn't want to make the gears, we can sell you the gears for it, or the valves or something like that.
But you machined this one.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Oh my God. And folks, there's some really cool parts. Do you have that bevel gear that you've shown me before, the right angle?
I can get that out. You go ahead, but those, we sell them in casting kit form, so you can buy those castings and machine them yourself.
Yeah, I mean, look at that ratchet, Paul. What is that, George?
That's part of the timing mechanism on this engine.
Oh my gosh.
It has a ratchet that turns every time the flywheel is turned.
This is really cool too. Oh my God. And you make everything here, huh?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we made the spur gears here. We have a gear machine here, and we made the bevel gears inside there.
And that's a limiter, rev limiter? I don't know.
This is a governor.
Governor, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm betraying my lack of engine knowledge here.
I mean, you don't see this on a lot of gas engines, but steam engines are famous for having flyball governor systems.
Yeah. Well, I think of it don't laugh, but like the textbooks, the history books, when we were first learning how to make steam power, that's what we had on the top of them, right?
Yes, that's right.
Cool.
That's right.
Let's go see the machines that make this stuff.
Of course, this here is parts inventory, as you can see there.
So in addition, I know Paul, aside from selling all of the model engine stuff, Paul also sells, like, I know you have a Bridgeport tramming plate that I know some folks on our channel have actually bought.
We sell those, and we sell some little tools that you might use in the shop along with the engine parts and that sort of thing.
We'll put a link to Paul's website in the video description.
Yeah. And then this is where we program and where we do our CAD. I got a big printer here for doing big drawings, so I can see them. When you get older.
We were actually here today filming. Again, a big shout out and a thank you to Paul. We did a really cool series on filming chip control and speeds and feeds on 3 different grades of aluminum. So we're kind of done filming that, and I thought, let's do a shop tour because Paul's got some. This is the manual lathe, but there's some pretty cool stuff in this shop.
We moved this in here a few years ago. This is a pretty good size lathe. It's a 2060, and we do a little sheet metal work in here. You can see a few items like that here, some slip rolls and a brake and a bar folder and notcher. But this is generally, when we're doing the engines, this is our assembly area. You can see there's a couple of engines sitting in here that are covered up. George generally does a lot of our assembly work and paint work in here. He's a big help around here. Of course, there's a couple jobs sitting here that I think Don pointed out in the earlier video. We do some pretty good size lathe work in here. These are 16 inches in diameter.
This is the 4140 pre-hard.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we're clear, this is not for a model engine. This
is another subcontract job we do. There's a couple other pieces over there, a little bit smaller.
That's awesome. Those are pretty big chunks of steel though. So this is all what I would call job shop work.
Yeah.
Got it.
We do that, and then we'll go in here in the other area here, and there's some of the aluminum we were just cutting on, but this is pipe here. We generally redo these. We'll cut the ends off.
Look at that. Look at those Acme threads.
Yes, there's Acme threads on one end, and this is what they call flange end on the other. we'll cut those ends off and make shorter nipples out of those for them.
Cool.
Of course, this is the saw area here. We got a honing machine there.
Oh, one of the Sun and Hones.
No, that's a Superior.
Oh, Superior. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, the Superiors, they don't make them anymore, I don't think. You can still buy the stone systems for them. Everything.
Okay.
The Superiors, I don't think you can get them. It's a nice machine. I like it. But anyhow, a lot of people are familiar with the Suns.
Yeah.
This is a tool cutter grinder, Grand Rapids.
Okay.
Anytime I have to do...
You use it?
Yeah. It's one of those machines, you don't use it every day, but boy, when you need it, you need it.
Yeah. A little cup wheel, diamond wheel for doing. So you'll do carbide as well as high-speed steel?
Right. Yeah, it's got a diamond wheel in there right now.
Got it. Something I don't know that I'll ever learn because I'm kind of recognizing that there's only so much time in life, but like, man, this is something I have no idea how to start even. I would have no clue.
And this is going to get lost because there's CNC tool cutter grinders.
Yeah.
They're fully enclosed.
I just buy my inserts ready to use.
Or even end mills.
Yeah.
Special shaped end mills.
Yeah.
You can buy those so inexpensively, so perfectly ground.
That's
the right grades.
AB Tools. We did a factory tour there. I mean, those guys are great. They'll do like a 3-day turnaround on a custom ground tool. And it's perfect. And they're ground on CNC machines or they're Haas mills. Like it's just.
Yeah. It's that way. I mean, this is, if you had something you had to have right away, it's a great machine to have. If you got the room to have it.
Yeah. To me, it's not the room. It's the know-how.
Well, that's part
Holy
of it too.
cow.
You got to have all the elements involved. This is OD grinder here. It's semi-automatic. It's got the.
Oh yeah, cool.
Much like a surface grinders can have one. I think you've got one that's semi-automatic. It works the same way, only.
So you turn between centers?
That's right.
Okay, the two dead centers there.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And then it'll wrap it into a point and start grinding, and grind to a point, and wrap it back so you can put another part in there and just cycle start it and go ahead and grind it.
So you can hold tenths on this thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. And not only that, but the big thing for OD grinding is not only holding size, but getting like a 10 finish on there or something.
A finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I got to learn more about those. That's an RA finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have
this
a real
particular machine. The one reason we bought this is to grind cranks.
For your models.
That's right.
Very cool. You make the crank.
Yeah, I can make the crank, put it in there, cycle start, and go over here and run something else.
Yeah, sure.
Stop when it's done.
Right.
Turn the crank around, grind the other side, and
that's awesome. You guys know this machine. This is the machine that I like to say saved my butt.
Yeah, we got it here. We got a little grinding area right here. This is where the OD grinder and the surface grinder is.
Yeah.
And the tool cutter grinder, and of course the pedestal grinders. Then we got a cabinet. It's got all the grinding stuff
cool. Yep.
in it.
Oh, look at all the dog sets for your for the centerless.
As a matter of fact, that's a Brown and Sharp, if you can believe that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I've never seen that small increment of dogs.
Yeah, I mean they got even.
Holy cow!
See how small that dog is?
Yeah. Wow.
Then this particular set.
I don't follow. Yeah, I see
it's the wrench for the screws. It's even got Brown and Sharp.
That's cool.
I've never seen that before anywhere else, but I know they made them.
This is the stuff I love. Like last time when we were here, yes, folks, I knew what gauge blocks were. I used them, I own them. I had never heard the term JoJo blocks. And everyone in the comments was like, "You didn't know what JoJo blocks were?" Well, no. When you don't work in a shop, where did you learn to do all this? Were you self-taught? Did you go to school for it?
Oh, I went to school.
Went to school, and then you did the apprenticeship.
Well, I went to apprenticeship then. We went to school at the same time.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, this is a dog too. I don't know if any
adjustable.
Yeah. Well, see what happens is you adjust these to the size, and then you can just move this like that. You see that cam action?
Yeah, right.
There, and stick the shaft in there, and it'll tighten up on there.
Really?
And when it's driving it, it pushes it tighter.
Huh.
And it makes it so when you're changing out shafts like we were just talking about, you can change it out real quick without having to use that set screw or anything.
That's cool.
Not only that, but it's brass, so it doesn't scar the part.
Right.
This is the best I can do. We paint everything here.
So we were just talking about grinding, and you made everything here.
We pour the Babbitt bearings.
Really?
We have a Babbitt bearing in the rod.
Yep.
And the other Babbitt bearing. Our oil cups go here.
Wow. You make the piston and the
piston, the rod. We take one ring on the piston,
Yeah, we make all that there. This is ground in the grinder.
So it's
here.
Babbitt inside of here,
Yeah,
huh?
that's right.
Yeah, right here.
That's cool.
And he's got face bearings on here, and of course this is the same way.
Yeah. Boy, it seems. I mean, it's sitting on this thing, but it seems silky smooth. Beautiful. So these get OD ground.
No, those are just turned in the Siki.
Is that right?
It's cast iron.
But the contact surface is the washer that you, or what's? Did those actually contact the bore?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. Well, there's rings at the top,
Yeah,
right? That
there's a piston ring
Piston
here.
ring, yeah.
But these right here, these grooves here are oil grooves.
Okay. Got it.
Carries
Because I remember you
on.
talking about grinding the piston rings on the surface grinder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're grinding the sides of the piston ring on the surface grinder.
Got it.
Because they have a couple tenths tolerance on those. Over here this is a gear machine I alluded to a little earlier. People are familiar with fellows. I think John wants to see this thing.
I've been pestering Paul ever since I met him to call me one day when he runs this thing, because this is, to me, this is like so cool.
If you've been around one or several of them, once you've seen them run, you go, "Well, I'm not making a gear any other way but that," because it just makes it so easy. The only problem is it's a really highly specialized machine. The only thing it does is
Cut
gears.
gears, you're right.
This particular machine will only do spurs. You can get a guide that goes up in the head here to do helicals, but they're dedicated type helical.
Oh, so you got to have so much tooling.
degree or a 45 degree.
Right.
You can only do a 45 or a 30 or whatever it happens to be.
Right.
So they're not real widely used for cutting helical teeth, but usually that's left to a hobby machine.
Do you cut your helical gears then on the CNC?
No.
No.
We've been buying our helical.
You buy them. Okay.
Yeah.
The right. Okay, got it.
We cut bevels on with.
That's what I was
CNC.
thinking.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. This is the lathe that we have here, CNC lathe. This is a Hitachi Siki 20S3. Unfortunately, these guys aren't in business now, but Mori has taken over the parts supplying for this. That's DMG now, I guess.
Yep. No, I recognize the blue. We just toured the Haas factory, and they had a whole cell of these things. I think these were really, really good machines.
Oh yeah, I really like it. It's a really nice machine.
It's funny. It's a vertical face.
Yeah,
so
the turret slides up and down this way and left and right. It's not an angular slant bed on it is what they usually call that. When they built this machine, they had a machine called a high cell, and it had a window in here with a tool changer on it, and it would change the tools out. So it was more, you could do milling and everything else in there, or you could do, it was like 20-some tools in it or something, so you could change even the lathe tools out.
Right. They're funny. It's a proprietary turret system, right?
Yeah. What I find odd is these are Kennametal holders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Kennametal made that for Hitachi Siki to use on this
Interesting.
machine. Yeah.
Can we open a drawer? Because every time Paul opens this drawer, I get envious. He's got a lot of good inserts.
We got tools in here, and we got inserts and boring bars. And of course, this is a collar rack
beautiful.
in here. And we go down here's the chucks and stuff down here in the centers, and of course, there's the grease gun for the chuck.
Yeah.
And these are holders like
Even for a guy who hates lathes, I got a little bit of envy right now.
And this is the hardness tester.
Oh, Rockwell hardness tester, awesome. So this just drops a hardened pin on a part and measures how far away.
How big the dent is.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can tell how hard it is usually. TMCs, this is a 1440 lathe. If you were going to buy a lathe, this is where I tell you to start, is a 1440.
Yep.
It's not real small, but it's not so big you can't get it in a little garage.
Sure.
And then usually they have some horsepower. This happens to be a 5-horse, which is pretty good horsepower for a lathe.
Seems like a small frame for a 5-horsepower machine.
Well, if you look at it, the bed and the chip pan are all cast into one piece, so that really makes her stiff. It's really wide going across here.
Yep.
Not only that, but when you back this up, the cross slide up all the way, there's hardly any of the ways exposed.
Okay.
So it's real stiff.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you're not dumping chips on the ways all the time and everything.
Right.
But it's been a really good machine. I bought this machine new, and it's an 81.
Your date? I was born in '83.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This is older than John, but it served me pretty well. We got a little turret leg.
Cool.
You can see that's an Enco.
Awesome. That's really cool. Now, does it have this? You can set the you set the stops back here, folks, and so every time you position that or move this, it'll automatically index to the stop. So this, you can legitimately do some production work on this.
Yeah, and usually we use this for secondary operations off of the CNC machine. You know,
Okay.
we have sometimes if we want to tap something, we put on here. It says a reversing mechanism on it where you can tap, power tap, and then
Really?
reverse. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, you know, it'll let you do that. We do parting. I mean,
Oh, wow.
studs on
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah.
Sure. That's
Part
cool.
one way and chamfer the other way, just like
Sorry.
that.
Yeah. Part and chamfer. That's awesome.
And you got stops on here. You can set the stops on how deep you're going, and
So some setup time, but man, then you can cook.
that's right. And generally, what we do is we'll have something on bar feed over there on the Seiki.
Yeah.
And we'll come over here and run this while that's running bar feed.
Sure.
Just stop every once in a while, go over and check and see if you still got material in the machine and keep it going with her.
Those older machines, do they know when the bar's empty or the bar's?
That one doesn't.
No. How do you know?
Well, I'll tell you what I do. Is I know how long it takes to do one part and how many parts it's going to make.
Set a
And I
timer?
just calc it out.
Yeah. But it won't. You could hear it not. It won't cause a problem, basically, right?
Well, I can.
Oh, really?
Here, I'll show you. If you put a bar feed on there, what we use is a puller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's got just.
So it'll come down here like this and grab hold of the bar and pull it.
Yep.
And come down and grab the bar and pull it.
Mm-hmm.
If it has a short piece in here, it can jam in between these two.
Oh, interesting.
So you have to be careful about letting it run out.
Sure.
If it runs out and it has a piece and only sticks out about that far, you're not going to have a problem. But if it's sticking out like that and you haven't calculated the part length right,
Mhm.
it can jam the machine. You know, it'll come down here and declutch this because it's,
Yeah.
get stuck.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful about that. See, this doesn't have a push-through bar feed, which you wouldn't have that problem with.
Right. Right. But I know a lot
This
of
is
guys.
inexpensive.
The bar
I used to
feed-
think it was inexpensive until I went and looked to see how much one costs new now. But
Paul was lamenting, just even replacing. This is the problem with older machines, folks. They can be great, and as a bootstrapper, I love the initial price sometimes. But man, I mean, getting parts like replacement screens like that can cost you 3 or 4 figures
that's right.
for something silly.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this, to give you an example, you see this touch screen
Yeah.
here, that was like $600. You can
Yeah.
see this one here hasn't been replaced, but it's starting to fracture.
Yeah.
And
Go-
it's just
go-
a piece
go
of
easy.
membrane.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You're not talking about the electronics. You're just talking about
I'm
the.
just talking about the skin on the top of the buttons, not the buttons or any of that other stuff. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with the buttons. They just get like this.
Yeah.
And start breaking.
Yeah. Right.
You see that? Where it's fractured right there.
Yeah.
Well, then you got a button behind there, and you don't want to get coolant in that. And you get coolant on your hands and all that stuff.
Right.
You got a tool touch on it.
Yeah, this
Oh, it
has got-
does?
yeah, this
Oh,
has got
cool.
tool touch off.
Yeah, the
in
tool
it.
arm. Okay.
See where you.
Yeah. I wish I had. That's great. God.
I wouldn't buy one without it.
Sure.
Of course, I don't think newer machines you can hardly buy one without it anymore.
Though there's a difference. Some machines can actually automatically move the arm out, and so it could do mid-cycle checking
Yeah.
or updates. Whereas this one, I assume, is like some of the machines where you have to actually.
Yeah, this
pull it
one
out.
you have to physically check it because
Yeah.
this is an older machine. But
Right.
I know they've got an automatic check system. I think even when I bought this, it was available, but it was not a cheap option
Right.
at the time.
Right.
Where it pops out there and it goes around and checks your tools in case something's broke.
Right.
Some of them have wear detection.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Well, it's like what you do on the mill with your. I know you
Yeah.
got He's got a really nice mill with a Heidenhain control and does some pretty cool. I've seen him do some pretty cool probing stuff on it.
Yeah, this particular machine has the tool touch all system here.
It's one of the few times I haven't seen a Renishaw probing system though.
And of course, it's got the eye
Yep.
up there, so you can see the probing system. And the main reason we got the Heidenhain probing is because we had Heidenhain control.
Sure.
We just figured we'd just go all Heidenhain. Because I've had problems with, I had another CNC machine in here that I got rid of when I got the Seiki, and the problem was there was different parts on the machine made by different people, and anytime you had a problem, they all pointed at each other.
Right.
You know, it's their part of the machine that's failing, not my part.
Great little one. First lessons I learned from Paul was, be nice to your machine. So he's got nice heavy duty strap clamps here, and he's putting a little piece of aluminum underneath it so you're not dinging up your table. I know that sounds silly and obvious, but boy, so many people don't do that.
Yeah, well, see, we don't want to bruise your table up. It's
Yeah.
just like if you're running the lagoon over there. You see how I've got the vise off to the left instead of in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, one reason you want to do that is you want to move that vise around on there every time you put it on there, so you wear the machine even.
Yeah.
You don't want it wore in the middle and that's it.
Yep.
Because then you start cranking it out to the end and you can't get it to crank out there because you got it wore out in the middle.
Yep.
But anyhow, this has got a hide and hide control. This is a 530 control. I like the buttons on this because there's no membranes on here. This is a better design. But, hey, this is a newer machine.
Yeah. No, you were talking about how a German control has such a different feel than the Japanese.
Yeah, see, this is a German control, of course, hide and hide. The other one is Hitachi Seiki's proprietary control.
Yeah.
And they're both machines. They're just, if you, I suppose most people wouldn't notice that unless they had one beside the other like I do.
Yeah.
It's like you're talking to somebody from Japan and you come over here and talk to somebody from Germany and their language is just organized differently.
Yeah, the whole process of
thought process is different.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not going to say that one is superior to the other. I'm not sure that's true.
Yeah.
It's a question of how well you understand how they're trying to communicate.
But folks, it takes a lot, in my opinion, to learn a new controller. And I like PathPilot. I like the Haas controller. I've struggled when I've had to use Fanuc controllers. They're not intuitive to me. Yes, I'm glad that they have great mean time between failure, but I care about making parts, and sometimes that's tough to go jump all between those.
Yeah, it's understanding more than one control. I mean, if I was going to start over, I'd try to stay with one control.
Yeah.
And basically, and then you evolve with that control. You
Yeah.
know, when they come out with newer controls, you're familiar with some of the older features, and they just upgrade them, and you can evolve with the machine.
Yep.
When you have different controls, boy.
Well, and you do a lot as a one-man shop, but boy, if you had 4 or 5 employees and you've now got to either have employees that are dedicated to each machine, which is tough because you don't have as much flexibility, or you've got to spend the time and investment to train people on multiple controllers, and you're a sharp guy. Not every machinist or employee is going to have that capability of mastering a control.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the one thing I could say about Hide and Hide, if you go to their facility in Illinois, they'll train you for nothing.
Really?
If you stay in a motel, they'll
No kidding.
give you training time.
Huh. One of the early drill tap machines.
Yeah,
I think this thing is awesome.
Yeah, this is a bridge machine. A lot of them are not, and I like that particular feature because the table's not moving.
Okay, so explain that to folks.
Yeah. So what happens here is when you start this machine up, the head moves left and right, up and down, in and out. The table doesn't move at all.
At all. So everything is in the Z.
Yeah. So you can stand here and put parts in here real easy. You can put indexers on here, index it around, and not have to worry about yanking on cables or anything else because the table doesn't move. Primarily, this is made for a pilot changing type system.
Oh, sure. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I had to laugh because when I first saw this machine, I thought, well, that's odd. There's no tool changer. Nope, there's a tool changer inside a...
The tool changer's back here.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah. It goes back through that door and scoops up the next tool and puts the other one back in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's similar to an umbrella style machine. I don't know how many people know what that means, but it's hidden back in there. One thing I don't like about the umbrellas is it's easy to get chip contamination in them, whereas you have a vertical chip tool changer like the Bridgeport has.
Keeps them protected.
It keeps everything protected. Yeah. You know, it's up in that cabinet up there. You don't have to worry about chips getting in it so easy.
You always empty your... So where do you keep your tools then? This is me just mostly wanting to see this again because I'm jealous. Oh, it's beautiful. Got it. So how do you handle... You have a tool library and you can you just put these back in the tool changer when you're ready to run?
Most of the time I take them out because I don't want them to get sticky or anything.
Yep.
Most of the time they go back to where they were, but sometimes I want to change something so I can change them out real easy. I'm not sure on a collet's how easy it is on leave them crushed all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't rust, but that doesn't mean they won't.
Right. Yep.
I mean, I've got a few cutters here. I got a cutter from Sandvik that they want me to try. I don't know.
Oh, this is one of the 390s?
Yeah.
Yeah, those high feed mills.
Yeah. See, I was looking at their screw-on type.
Yeah, integral.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or excuse me, the modular. That's
Yeah, where it has a tapered Acme thread on it, you know, and it screws in the end of the holder. I've got a ball milling system, and I was asking about this cutter.
that's just on a 1-inch set screw.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was asking about this cutter to fit the same type of holder where it's got the screw-on system. I'm not sure how much more rigid it is. They claim it is. And it looks like it is in their videos. So
Yeah.
I can't say it's not that way. But, you know, I have several different cutters here. You know, I've got. See,
That's interesting. That's a milling chuck holding a really small spade drill.
Yeah. That's a small spade drill that they sell.
Wow. Why a spade drill there?
Well, you know, you don't have to run them as fast as a carbide. Of
Oh,
course, you can get carbide.
high-speed
for-
seal inserts.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
high-speed insert.
Huh.
And that particular drill we're using in an aluminum,
Oh, okay.
so we didn't have to run it so fast.
Yeah.
And it's through coolant.
Okay. Oh, so this machine has through spindle.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's
Okay.
just through coolant spindle on this machine. We just about. I don't think there was any other options to get on this machine. And I would anybody that's buying a machine, I tell you to consider as many options as you possibly can stand financially.
Right. Right.
Because you can't. It's hard to go backwards once you bought the machine to get stuff installed after you have the darn thing.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good advice. I mean, we went through. I spent a year trying to figure out what VMC we were going to buy, and I have no regrets. I've been super happy with the VM3. I love it. My one thought is, I would like to have a second machine because these days, you know, I'm 33. I'm at the beginning of my career. Paul's, if I may say so, kind of thinking about the tail end.
I'm
of this.
60.
Yeah, but I can run, or Jared can run 2, maybe 3 VMCs at the same time. So from a business standpoint, more so than a machining standpoint, I'd love to have a couple more VF2s or other machines. But this machine is really a rolls. It does it all.
Yeah, you know, and then one thing that's nice about this too, you can take the covers off the ends here with a long.
Big part in. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got the chip conveyor, which I didn't get on the lathe. This has a drag instead of a lift,
Yep. Okay. Cocool.
which I
Little
like
index.
that.
Yep.
You know, you see both pumps in there. One's for the regular
Oh.
pulling, one's for the through spooling.
Do you still use your Lagoon? The what I call Bridgeport?
This, oh yeah.
Yeah. Even though you've got CNCs.
There's always something to do in it.
Yeah.
You know, and you can run it, you know, burn something up. We had a part in here the other day. We were just drilling 4 holes in here. You know,
Yeah.
It's got burrs on the back. You just take it out of here while this is running. Another one, take it over there and burn the holes.
Got it.
It's kind of something you might consider. It's kind of nice to have this close to one of the machines so you can do that.
Second
sort
op.
of-
Yep.
Or you can be making a tool like one of my boys is making these T-nuts.
Oh, nice.
You know, you could be making a tool like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, this is running.
Just what I was just saying. You can run. Right.
Multitask.
Yep.
One thing you might consider is a pilot changer system. You might think about it because what it comes down. There was when I bought this machine, there was several bridge machines like this that were longer,
Yeah.
and what they have is a divider in between here.
Yeah.
So
it
it
just
can
rotates.
run on one side, and you can load on the other side. And then it won't go over there unless you close the door over
Right.
there.
Right.
Then it'll go over there and run, and you can load this side, and that thing is running all the time.
We saw a lot of pallet changers in our IMTS video. Card to that here. Some of the machines come with them integral. With the Haas drill tap machines, which I really like. The problem with the pallet changer is that it's over, I think, half the price of a new machine. So I think a lot of guys say, I'll just buy a second machine rather than a pallet changer. But there's other machines that have it integral to it, where maybe it's not so bad.
It depends on how, you know, the Japanese, you can see, they call these phone booth machines for a reason.
It is tiny.
You know, if you bought a bunch of these,
Oh my
they would be
gosh.
stacked in here like sardines. And you see, there's nothing on the side here, on either side of this machine, so you can put them right up against each other, and you can service it from the front and the back and
Yeah.
not have to do anything. Because in Japan, space is important.
No, seriously. And I read an article, and I hope someone post in the comments below if they've ever heard this or read this. But Apple machines their iPhones, they machine the laptop cases. Someone told me, or an article, Apple has 20,000 robo drills. I don't think that's in one factory. 20,000 robo drills. I mean, now all of a sudden the space really matters.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you think about it. How many of these, you can see the space here.
Yeah.
How many of these could you get right here in a row?
Oh, yeah.
How much machining could one guy do? And you don't have to go very far to get to the machines.
It's incredible. Yeah, that's cool.
You know, it's something to consider. And like I say, the bridge machines lend themselves to parts changers. They have typically on these they'll have a rotary table right here, which is, I know you've seen a lot of those, where it just spins around and there it is.
Slick. Yep.
Yeah.
Never stops. Awesome.
Well, that's well. This is a broach machine here. I don't know how many people are. This is kind of going out of style now.
Oh, cool. Okay, so there's your broach.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a horizontal broach.
That's right.
Huh. That's very cool.
So if you
Oh, look at that. Hydraulic.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's slick. Oh my gosh, it's so much nicer than a press.
That's right. So you just slide the part on there. This particular broach actually puts a chamfer on the keyway as well as put the keyway in. And then you just push the broach button, and there it is. It's cutting.
Oh, that's nice. So what I like about this is some of these older machines like the gear cutter or the hone machines, you got to be careful buying them used because it's not the machine that matters, it's getting the tooling. But a machine like this, I got to think you could easily get the broaches for it, which means, boy, this
company's mini broach, and they're up in New England.
Yeah, that's slick.
I mean, you can see right here when we bought this, we made the table for this. This right here, where it bolts on right here, is where the machine
is. That's it. It's tiny.
It's
oh
tiny.
Man.
Now, you can buy broaches for a vertical machining center now.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've heard debates though on how good or bad it is for your spindle bearings.
Yeah, I'm not. That's the very debate why we don't have one, because I haven't figured out whether when your spindle's stopped and you're pushing on it like that.
Right.
One of the companies I talked to is a German company, and they go up to a 5/8 wide keyway. And I was wanting to cut a 1 inch, and they said, "Well, we can make you a bar to do that."
1 inch.
1 inch wide keyway.
Good grief.
So I was like, I'm not sure I want to do that to the spindle.
I don't want to be the guinea pig.
Yeah, but they have videos of them in lathes where they put them in a lathe and broach keyways, and in mills. Some people are doing it. And I can see that where you put that tool in your mill, and
go.
You got the keyway in it. You've eliminated the whole operation.
Modern Machine Shop had an article that I was reading a couple months ago about this topic, and the folks that make the tools were saying the spindle thing is overrated. It's like a 1/1000 radial cut. It's no different than a small side load or something else. So it's basically all hype, no real facts, and so it is a really good way to consolidate a workflow, to do it in one operation, and it was pretty cool. It's something I still want to think about, and I was talking to John Grimsmo about it. I think he looked into it but hasn't done it yet either. But square corners, man, there's a ton of times where it'd be handy to be able to do that.
Well, and there are a couple manufacturers that actually make a machine that's all it does.
Oh, really?
It's a CNC that actually slots keyways.
Oh my God. Well, then you gotta have a whole machine.
Yeah. Now, that's a little different because they're not worried about the spindle turning. They're just going up and down, just like an old slotter. I don't know if you've seen those or not. Yeah, it's the same thing.
And I've seen some of the VMCs that do the broaching. You can do things like an AR-15 magwell where it has a pointed tool and it can actually spindle orient, and so you could drill out or mill out, and then you've got left with a radius, and that can orient itself and go in and broach out corners to just walk in that last little bit. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And it gives you an added level of flexibility.
Yeah.
Stuff that comes in or some kind of weird jobs.
Cool.
Got that in the back of your mind.
Folks, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you, Paul, for the tour.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Take care.
Yeah.
See you soon, folks.